Lithuania appears to be transforming into NATO's frontline early warning post, rewriting not just its national security laws but also its entire military strategy to face evolving regional threats. From expanded intelligence powers to the revival of mass conscription and large-scale emergency planning, Lithuania's moves reflect growing anxieties within NATO over Russia's unpredictable posture. According to reports, Lithuania has passed a sweeping new law empowering intelligence agencies to detain and search individuals without waiting for a court's prior authorization, a move reported by Russian media outlet RT. The legislation is set to come into force on February 1, 2026, with officials in Vilnius insisting it is a necessary step to counter mounting external threats to national and regional security. Under the revised intelligence law, Lithuania's agencies can respond proactively to any perceived risks to state sovereignty, especially those stemming from foreign influence or overseas interference. Authorities will also permit intelligence officers to monitor communications and track targets for up to 24 hours, all without a formal warrant, in what the government calls a rapid response measure. Perhaps most strikingly, spies will now have the legal authority to covertly gather biometric data such as fingerprints, voice recordings, and even scent traces, expanding their investigative reach far beyond traditional limits. Agents can detain people and search their bodies, homes, and property on suspicion alone. Spies can monitor targets and their correspondence first, and go to court within 24 hours. Intel services can act against risks and threats from abroad seen as endangering sovereignty. Officers can covertly collect fingerprints, voice samples, scent, and other biometric data. Agencies can obtain explosive substances, devices, and standard-issue firearms for operations. Hundreds of Belarusians and Russians have already been tagged as security threats using Intel inputs. In 2024 alone, Lithuanian authorities used security and intelligence assessments to classify 598 Belarusians and 125 Russians as threats, underscoring how sharply Vilnius is tightening its filters on hostile influence. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the Baltic states of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia have adopted a consistently hard line against Moscow, treating it as a primary security danger rather than a normal neighbor. Earlier this year, European NATO members backed a historic decision to raise defense and security spending targets to 5% of GDP by 2035, signaling a massive rearmament drive in response to the Russian threat. At the same time, Lithuania is broadening its conscription system, warning citizens that the risk of a potential military clash in the region is higher than at any point since the end of the Cold War. Vilnius has approved a new model of basic mandatory service that will run for a full year, from January 2 to December 31, 2026, aiming to build a larger, better-trained reserve force ready for rapid mobilization. Russia has publicly dismissed Western warnings about its alleged hostile plans as nonsense, accusing NATO capitals of stoking fear and using Russia as a pretext for internal militarization. Moscow, in turn, claims that NATO countries are engaging in what it calls reckless militarization, arguing that they hide aggressive moves under the language of deterrence and defense. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov has warned that current European NATO policies keep the risk of a larger war high, framing alliance decisions as the main driver of escalating tensions.